So Buttery Cheeks asks with a generous $5 super chat. Luke, with Marathon struggling and Horizon Hunters gathering negative reception, does Sony believe Fairgame $ has a shot at being a hit? Well, we just got a news story, in case you guys missed it, of an update to Fairgame $, which has been AFK, MIA, whatever you want to say. They've been missing for like 2 years. I think going on 3 years, actually. But as you can see, this is a report from Tom Henderson with Insider Gaming. PlayStation's Fairgames is also preparing to enter the extraction market. Documents sent to Insider Gaming indicate that Haven Studios' upcoming multiplayer game, Fairgames, will lean into the extraction shooter genre with a dedicated game mode. The game was first revealed in 2023, has sparked several rumors and reports about its development troubles, notably issues with the studio's ability to find the quote-unquote fun factor. Despite those issues, though, PlayStation has continued to invest in the game, with its next playtest scheduled for this weekend. So apparently people are playing it this weekend, which is interesting. Officially, the game was described in 2023 as, quote, a competitive heist experience, which didn't reveal too much about what the game would be. But in short, at least for one of the game's flagship game modes called Cargo Heist, it is basically an extraction shooter with an objective. Think Marathon with a contract, for those who have played. The game mode's description reads as break in, find a vault code, gain access to the safe, collect cash, upgrade your skill set, and make your play. Drill, the vault is breached, be the team to grab the cargo, or set up your strategy to intercept it, and extract. The cargo must be brought to the extraction site. Use the extraction device to call your ride home. If your team fails to extract cargo, use another exit to get away. Okay. Literally the finals. That's what it sounds like to me, is effectively the finals, where there's a bunch of teams and then they go in and they're trying to get to a vault. It sounds like just one, objective. You get to it, you grab the thing, and then you get to the extraction site. The finals is different because they'll do like 2 or 3 in a round. So you have to go and get 2 or 3 different cubes of cash or whatever. And then whoever gets the majority, by the time the timer runs out, they win. But this sounds like it's just one. Like you get one thing, one group of treasure, and then you extract. An uphill climb, Fairgames has had a number of issues throughout its development, including the studio's founder Jade Raymond leaving in 2025. Reports and rumors of the game throughout its development have said that the playtesters found the game, quote, not fun. Oops. Which Insider Gaming understands has been a persistent problem throughout the game's development. Frankly, it doesn't bode well for a game when you consider that Bungie's latest game, Marathon, has struggled to retain players despite high Metacritic reviews. One thing going for Fairgames is that the game is apparently free to play, relying on in-game monetization to fund future development and cover its costs. However, initial popular games like Ubisoft's X-Defiant have proven that high player counts on a free-to-play model mean little if players aren't spending. Another cause for concern for PlayStation will also be 10 Chambers' upcoming heist game, Den of Wolves, which has received rave reviews from people who have played it early, and now, after seeing both games, the similarities are stark. So much so that I had to delay writing this article because I thought the documentation I was shown was Den of Thieves. That's kind of funny that it was so similar. He thought it was the same thing. Have I tried Den of Thieves? Is this the game I'm thinking of? Because I tried... No, I don't think I tried this one. I tried another like heist game at Summer Games Fest last summer. I cannot recall what it was called, but this is apparently this is Den of Wolves. This is Den of Wolves. Den of Thieves game. Does he mean Den of Wolves? Is that what he means? Because looking it up, it only pops up with Den of Wolves. Yeah, 10 Chambers. So this is it. He just has the name wrong, I guess. Okay. I mean, at least in terms of tone, what we saw in Fairgame $, like if people are picking between 2 games based on the aesthetic, oh, this has like destructible environments. That's kind of cool. I'm guessing that a lot of people are going to prefer that more gritty, grounded style over like whatever this is. I don't want to get copyright struck, so I'm going to leave it muted. But I just, this is like very cartoony. The joke has been like, you can take the devs out of Ubisoft, can't take the Ubisoft out of the devs, because like the monkey masks look very Ubisoft. It's like very Watch Dogs in presentation. This looks way more, I think that this might stand a better shot, but we'll see. And it also depends on which is getting to the market first. And I'm guessing what they are referring to when they say they haven't been able to find the fun is that thing where like they do a play test, they send out surveys, and then they ask you like rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how fun the game was. Would you play more if it was available to you right now? Would you get your friends on if you wanted them to play it right now? And they ask all those questions. And if they do big enough play tests where they have like hundreds or thousands of responses, and all of them are like 5 out of 10 on the fun factor, that is not what you want. Because again, free to play, you can get people in to try the game for a day or two, but if they don't stay and pay, it doesn't work. Like, look at High Guard being the prime example. They had over 2 million players try High Guard. 2 million. 2 million. And they couldn't hold on to hardly any of them because people just didn't find it fun. Now, why didn't they find it fun? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of moving parts to that and a lot of answers that you could point to. And if it were an easy question to answer, I'm sure they would have solved it and wouldn't have gone defunct. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't have shut the studio down if it was an easy thing to fix. But more than anything, I think it's for High Guard, it was tough onboarding. People found it not intuitive. It was pacing wise really, really bad. It had problems. But with Fairgame $, the tricky thing is that they've been in development for ages. They announced it 2.5 years ago, going on 3 years ago. And if they still haven't found the fun factor, like, what are we doing, fam? What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? Who is giving the okay for all these fails? Well, it seems Herman is. Herman, he like the live service push has been his baby. It was him and Jim Ryan. They pushed it. That's been his focus. They've got Helldivers, which was a success by pretty much every metric. I think it made a massive profit, was super successful. Marathon, as I've said with Marathon is a very niche game that was developed with a very mass market budget. And those don't mix super well, you know? Because if you have a game that's niche and gets a niche player base of like 10 to 20,000 players, that can work and you can make money with that as long as you didn't spend $250 million. You know? I don't know what they were expecting. Well, I do know what they were hoping for, but I don't know what they were realistically expecting. Like, I think Marathon performed about as well as you could have hoped it to perform, given the type of game that it is. As for like Fairgame $, I just don't know where that audience is going to come from. Like, do you really think people are going to put down Fortnite to play it? Do you really think they're going to like shut down Arc Raiders and hop over to Fairgames? Like, I just don't see it. And it's something Phil Spencer talked about, Sean Layden talked about. Like at the end of the day, the gaming industry is fighting over like a fixed number of players, whether it's 100 million, 150 million, whatever. Like these companies are fighting over the same people. And so your game has to be not just good enough to hold their attention, but it has to be so good that people are willing to give up the other game they've already put hundreds or thousands of dollars into. And I don't see it. Now, to be fair, we have not seen Fairgames in 2.5 years. So it's possible that it's way better now. It's possible that they took the feedback and were like, oh, okay, and overhauled everything. Never say never. Do I think that's super likely? No, especially because we're hearing reports like within the last few months of like playtests that weren't going well. So I don't think it's super likely, but it's possible. So maybe there is something he sees in it that we don't. But like, again, this is the guy that called allegedly called Concord. He thought it was going to be their Star Wars level franchise. Like he put hundreds of millions of dollars behind Horizon Hunter's Gathering. That's my concern, is that it's not just that they tried and like went swinging for the fences on something. It's that if his judgment is so skewed that he looks at this and thinks that this is what Horizon fans wanted, or that this is what's going to take on Fortnite, like I just seriously doubt his ability to make rational decisions. Because it's kind of delusional. Like any regular gamer looks at it and is like, And like I told you, I've talked to people who are involved with the game, both who have helped build it and play it. And the people I've spoken to who tried this recently were not, I mean, talk about lacking fun factor. That seems to be a common thread with these things. It sounded like it was not a game many people thought was likely to find a lot of success. Even people who have worked on it, apparently, like, they're just kind of going through the motions and are like, okay, it doesn't seem like anybody's super hyped. Like Highguard, I think there were some people who were legitimately really hyped for Highguard that worked on that team and thought it was going to be massive. I do think so, but I don't think there's anybody like that with Hunter's Gathering. So we'll see what happens with Fairgames. I mean, they did, I think our bullying worked. They did rebrand it as Fairgames instead of Fairgame $, which is what I always called it. So I'm a lot of other people too. So they did, the bullying did work. They did swap the name out. Now it's kind of, the damage is done. It is what it is, but we're going to see how they approach it. Cause this is one that's, I don't think anybody is like, oh, I've got this on my calendar. Please give us an update for Fairgame $. I don't think any person has ever said that. Which could go to their advantage. If people have just forgotten about it, they can kind of relaunch it, re-announce it. Maybe that's the goal, but they're still putting money into it. They're doubling down, tripling down on it. They clearly see something. In the past, they've seen things that aren't there, though. They've straight up hallucinated, it seems. So I'll believe it when I see it. But even being free to play, it's still a massive hurdle to overcome. There's a lot of free to play games out there that are really, really good, that people already have played and play with their friends and stuff. I'm not sure why they would drop those to jump on something like this, but we'll see. He took my